Dear students, today we are going to discuss verification of various assets like plant and machinery, furniture, motor vehicles. In order to get exact idea about the physical existence of the property held by the client, the auditor has required to make verification in detail of different type of assets. Firstly, we are focusing verification of plant and machinery. It is the duty of an auditor to verify the assets and liabilities of the concern. While verifying any kind of asset, the auditor has to pay attention towards the certain points that is very essential in order to get complete idea about the physical existence, possession, title, and other relevant information. While concerning with plant and machinery, firstly we should know that a plant is an asset with a useful life of more than 1 year is used to producing revenue in a business operations. Plant is recorded at cost and depreciation is reported during their useful life. A plant is an asset. It has a definite life. Suppose a business of hotel industry is there. The refrigerator is plant of that hotel business. Plant means an asset having a life more than 1 year. Plant is always recorded at cost price and depreciation is deducted from it. Generally, plants are required to any business, profession or organization. After discussion of plant, we should know machinery. Machineries are mostly used for manufacturing processes and certain electronics machineries are used for official purposes. It means that manufacturing machineries as well as electronic machineries are taken into consideration. Cost of plant and machinery includes original cost plus all direct and incidental expenses such as transportation, wages, octroi, custom duty, erection charges, etc. Erection charges, that is installation charges. It means that these expenditure can be capitalized and treated as capital expenditure. While verifying plant and machinery, the auditor should adopt the following procedure. Plant and machinery. Firstly, a auditor should get a schedule of plant and machinery. Schedule means a list of plant and machinery by the responsible officer. In case of register of plant and machinery is maintained giving the details such as cost price, addition, deduction, it should be checked thoroughly by the auditor. Register of plant and machinery is compulsory for limited company. Very IMP. To keep register for plant and machinery is necessary for a limited company. So, in order to verify plant and machinery, the auditor should obtain register from the client. The auditor should also check that the plant and machinery is in the possession of the client. It is also important in verification that it is the duty of an auditor to see that whether the plant and machinery is in the possession of the client. If the machine is transit or at any place other than the ordinary place in the prior erection period, the auditor should obtain the related certificates and documents. If the client has purchased a machine but this machine yet not approached or received to the client and that machine is transit for that purpose, the auditor should obtain certificate and documents regarding machine which is in transit. If the plant and machinery is kept abroad, a certificate to that effect should be obtained from the local audit. Some purposes, if the company or business has undertakings certain activities in foreign countries or abroad and that machinery is used there for that purpose, the auditor should obtain certificate regarding plant and machinery which is located in foreign country from the local auditor. The auditor should confirm whether there is any charge on plant and machinery for the purpose of loan. If it is so, then all relevant papers should be checked properly. Sometimes a client may mortgage plant and machinery and takes loan on it. For that purpose, the auditor should check the what is the purpose of taking loan and relevant document. The auditor should conduct physical verification and check contracts, invoices, and other documents for verifying ownership. In order to get idea about the plant and machinery, there is a need to conduct physical verification by the auditor, and also auditor should check contracts, invoices, and other relevant document regarding plant and machinery. New purchases will be verified with the help of suppose the new machinery is purchased for that purpose. The auditor should verify invoices, cash receipts, agreements with the vendors. The board's minutes authorizing the purchase should be seen. For purchase of any new machinery, the resolution passed by the board is essential. The auditor should see that the approval is given by the board of directors for purchase of new plant and machinery and that should be verified with the help of invoices, that is in Maraठी बीजक बिल, मशिनरीचं बिल, बिलच्या सहाय्याने देखील आपण ते व्हेरीफाय करू शकतो. कॅश रिसीट म्हणजे जमा पावती, ॲग्रीमेंट्स करार आणि ज्याच्याकडून आपण मशिनरी घेतली व्हेंडर त्याच्याशी झालेला करार या कागदपत्राची आपण तपासणी करू शकतो. In case of any addition during the period under the audit, it must be seen that the present represent some new plant and machinery acquired and not renewal or replacement wrongly capitalized. From this point, we can analyze that only new plant and machinery should be considered as an addition. But in order to avoid wrong practice, the auditor should pay proper attention regarding that the some new machinery acquired is in possession of the client. If any plant or part of it sold or scrapped, the auditor should check that the profit or loss on it transferred to profit and loss account or profit and loss statement of profit and loss. Sometimes a client may sold plant or machinery which is becoming worthless or because of new arrival in that category, or in that case, if the plant or machinery sold, the profit or loss on it should be transferred to statement of profit and loss account. If the machinery is sold as a scrap, that should be also considered by the auditor and take into consideration loss on it should be transferred to the statement of profit and loss account. The auditor should confirm that machine acquired on hire purchase basis is not shown as an asset. Sometimes a machine may be purchased under hire purchase system and the purchaser cannot make owner of that property till the payment of last installment. For that cases, the auditor should confirm that machine acquired under hire purchase system is not shown as an asset. When plant and machinery is revalued, the auditor should obtain the certificates and report of the valuer and check the reasons for revaluation as well as whether the revaluation is correct. When plant and machinery is revalued, for that purpose, the auditor should obtain certificate and report from the valuer and he should confirm that the valuation is correct. The auditor should see that acquisition, direct and installation expenses are capitalized. There are two types of expenditure, capital expenditure and revenue expenditure. When plant and machinery is purchased and some certain direct expenses incurred for that and incidental expenses should be capitalized. It means that suppose for example a machine is purchased for rupees 1 lakh, transportation charges is rupees 10,000 and installation charges is also 10,000. So cost of machine will be 1,20,000 that occurred as under original cost of machinery plus transportation charges plus installation charges. 1 lakh plus 10,000 plus 10,000 is equal to cost of machine is 1,20,000. That should be considered and auditor should note that the certain direct and incidental expenses are capitalized along with the cost of machinery. The auditor should check that the depreciation is provided on plant and machinery is fair and adequate and also see that method of depreciation being used is same from year to year. It means that the auditor should pay attention that the same method is applied for calculation of depreciation for long period. It means that the book value of an asset or plant and machinery is calculated as under cost price less depreciation is equal to book value and that book value should be shown on asset side of the balance sheet. The auditor should verify opening balance of plant and machinery from the last year audited statements. Opening balance of last year is the closing balance of last year is the opening balance of current year and that should be recorded properly. That point be noted by the auditor. The auditor should see that the plant and machinery is properly valued and disclosed in the balance sheet. So plant and machinery is an asset and that should be shown on asset side of the balance sheet. So these are the points that should be taken into consideration by the auditor while verifying plant and machinery. I am given here sample Proforma or register of machinery. So that is the it is compulsory to limited company to maintain the register of plant and machinery and that format of register is provided here. These are the columns and there are certain points which are recorded here and that is essential. Look that format or Proforma of machine register. Firstly, we have firstly here given name of the plant and asset, name of the machinery, location It means that machinery, where is that machinery is installed. Description, original cost, estimated life, method of depreciation, rate of depreciation. This is very important. It is in that register, the client should write appropriate information here, and that is the basis for verification to the auditor. There are certain columns prepared here. First column is date, then particulars, then opening value, then additional during the year, that is gross value, then disposal of sale during the year, then net value, depreciation for the year, written down value as on the close of the year, replaced during the year. These are the particulars about the machine. In that register, we have seen that there are certain columns like date, particulars, opening balance. Addition during the year means purchase of machinery during the year. Then gross value, then sale of machinery book value, then net value, then depreciation for the year, total depreciation of the year, then book value of the machine, and the repair expenses incurred by client in that during the year. This is the pro forma of machine register. So we have discussed how to verify plant and machinery by the auditor. Then another point of our discussion, verification of furniture, fixtures and fittings. They are items of movable equipment that are used to furnish an office. Examples are chairs, desks, slaves, bookcases, filing, and other similar items. While verifying furniture, fixtures, and fittings, the auditor should adopt the following procedure. The auditor should check the furniture fixtures register and see that separate accounts are maintained for each item of purchase, and it gives full details such as date of purchase, cost, incidental expenses, etc. While verifying furniture, fixtures, and fitting, the auditor should obtain register from the client, and the auditors also see that in that register proper columns have been prepared regarding date of purchase, cost of furniture, and incidental expenses. The auditor should verify furniture stock register and ask the management to prepare an inventory to reconcile to reconcile it with the stock register. In case of furniture, the auditor should verify furniture stock register and then ask to management to prepare inventory to reconcile it with the stock register. The auditor should verify furniture, fixtures and fittings physically. It is very important. In verification, physical verification is important. So, auditor should see that furniture, fixtures and fittings physically. The auditor should check that the furniture and fixtures is in the possession of the client. That is also a very important point in relation to verification. In verification, the auditor should have required to see that possession of possession of furniture and fixtures of the client. New purchases will be verified with the help of invoices, cash receipts, arrangements with the vendors. The board's minutes authorizing the purchase should be seen. New purchase, while purchasing new furniture, there should be approval from the board of directors. And for that purpose, the auditor should see that invoices, cash receipts, and agreements with the vendor. The auditor should see that acquisition, direct, and installation expenses are capitalized. When part of furniture is sold, the auditor should see that it is authorized by the responsible officer. The auditor should examine the profit or loss on sale of furniture during the year is properly disclosed in the profit and loss account. The auditor should see that old and unserviceable items are discarded by the permission of responsible officer and their proper record is maintained. The auditor should verify that depreciation is charged adequately considering the purchase and sales of furniture during the year and it is valued at original cost less depreciation and disclosure in the balance sheet. These are the points that should be taken into consideration by the auditor at the time of verification of furniture, fixtures and fittings. After discussion of two items here, that is verification of plant and machinery and verification of furniture, fixtures and fittings. Certain common points are there. Common points means these points we can apply for furniture or we can apply for plant and machinery. So think on it. What are the common points? Then auditor's duty in verification. This is the flow chart given by some experts and that exported here. Auditor's duty in verification. While verification, auditor firstly see that verify invoices. जी बिलं असतील मालमत्ता खरेदीची, ॲसेट खरेदीची ते तपासणार, विक्रीची असतील तपासणार, दुरुस्तीची असतील तपासणार. व्हेरीफाय फर्निचर स्टॉक रजिस्टर. फर्निचरचं स्टॉक रजिस्टर व्हेरीफाय करणार. व्हेरीफाय शेड्यूल ऑफ प्रिव्हियस इयर. गेल्या वर्षीचं फर्निचर किती होतं त्याचं शेड्यूल बघणार. डिस्क्लोजर ऑफ प्रॉफिट ऑर लॉस ऑन सेल. समजा फर्निचर किंवा कोणती ॲसेट विकली असेल तर त्याच्यावर प्रॉफिट किंवा लॉस झाला असेल. समजा फर्निचर 5,000चं 3,000ला विकलं तर 2,000 रुपये लॉस हा प्रॉफिट अँड लॉस अकाउंटला दाखवलंय का बघणार. समजा प्लांट होती 10,000ची विकली 15,000ला, 5,000 रुपये जो प्रॉफिट झाला तो प्रॉफिट अँड लॉस अकाउंटला दाखवलं का हे बघणार. प्रॉफिट अँड लॉस अकाउंटचं नवीन नाव स्टेटमेंट ऑफ प्रॉफिट अँड लॉस हे कंपनी कायदा 2013 नुसार आहे. तर या गोष्टी आपण लक्षात घेतल्या पाहिजे. म्हणजे दिस इज द फ्लो चार्ट और दिस इज द चार्ट that is useful for our understanding. Last point of discussion, today's discussion, verification of motor vehicles. Motor vehicles are required for business purposes that should serve better and it is helpful for properly management of business activities. While making verification of motor vehicles, the auditor should consider the following factors. आता कोणत्याही प्रश्न परीक्षेमध्ये येऊ शकतो. हाऊ यू वुड व्हेरीफाय फॉलोविंग असेट्स आणि 2-3 असेट येऊ शकतात त्याच्यावर आपल्याला नोट लिहावी लागेल. समजा असं येऊ शकतो हाऊ वुड यू व्हेरीफाय मोटार व्हेकल्स. म्हणजेच काय की ऑडिटरनी मोटार व्हेकलचं व्हेरिफिकेशन करताना कोणते मुद्दे लक्षात घेतले पाहिजेत किंवा आपण कोणते मुद्दे, समजा आपण ऑडिटरचा रोल करत असतो तर कोणते मुद्दे घेतले पाहिजेत. तर हे कोणते मुद्दे लक्षात घेतले पाहिजेत हे आपण पहा. वॉचिंगलाही असंच पाहिलं. अजिबात यामध्ये आपल्याला जम्बलिंग करून चालणार नाही. वॉचिंगमध्ये डॉक्युमेंटरीवर जास्त भर असतो, डॉक्युमेंटरी एव्हिडन्सवर, आणि व्हेरिफिकेशनमध्ये जास्त भर असतो तो फिजिकल व्हेरिफिकेशन म्हणजे प्रत्यक्ष अस्तित्व, पोजेशन याच्यावर भर असतो. आता कोणते ऑडिटरनी मुद्दे लक्षात घेतले पाहिजेत हे आपण इथं आता बघणार आहे. If the number of vehicles is more, it is necessary to maintain a separate register by the concern. The auditor should call for a schedule which is signed by the responsible officer of motor vehicle and compare it with the register. की रजिस्टर पाहिजे, त्यामध्ये मोटार व्हेकलचा सर्व तपशील पाहिजे. डेट कोणत्या तारखेला समजा खरेदी केली असेल, तर विकलं असेल व्हेकलचं तर कधी विकलं, त्याच्यावर डिप्रिशिएशन किती, रिपेअर्स किती, त्याची ग्रॉस व्हॅल्यू किती, त्याची नेट व्हॅल्यू किती, या बाबी त्या रजिस्टरला आल्या पाहिजे. ते रजिस्टर आणि शेड्यूल म्हणजे कोणत्या कंपनीकडं मोटार गाड्या आहेत त्याचं शेड्यूल म्हणजे परिशिष्ट म्हणजे यादी घ्यायची. ती यादी आणि रजिस्टर याचं ऑडिटरनं कंपॅरिझन केलं पाहिजे आणि दॅट शुड बी टॅलिड आणि ते बरोबर आहे याची खात्री केली पाहिजे. The auditor should verify the vehicles such as motor trucks, motor lorries, etc. by checking purchase invoices, registers, RTO certificates, insurance policies, etc. नवीन मोटार ट्रक किंवा मोटार लॉरीज खरेदी केल्या असतील तर ऑडिटरनं त्याची बिलं बघितली पाहिजेत, त्याचं रजिस्ट्रेशन बघितलं पाहिजे, RTOचं सर्टिफिकेट बघितलं पाहिजे, इन्शुरन्स पॉलिसी असेल तर याच्यावरून आपण खात्री करतो की दिस मोटार व्हेकल इज न्यूली पर्चेस्ड. The auditor should see that the expenditure on body building of trucks, transport buses, accessories of cars which are of non-recurring nature are capitalized. It is called as direct expenses in relation to vehicles. व्हेकलची ओरिजिनल कॉस्ट झाली प्लस त्याच्यासाठी आपण काही डायरेक्ट एक्सपेन्सेस केले. समजा ट्रकची बॉडी बिल्ड करण्यासाठी काही खर्च केला, ॲक्सेसरीजसाठी काही खर्च केला कार किंवा गाडीच्या, तर तो कॅपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर झालाय का आणि त्याचं कॅपिटलायझेशन झालंय का हे ऑडिटरनी पाहिलं पाहिजे. The auditor should confirm that any new vehicle purchased is added in existing vehicle list and it is sanctioned by the competent authority. For any kind of purchase, the sanction of authority is must. So auditor should verify that sanction has been given by the concerned authority or competent authority for purchase of new vehicle. The auditor should check that any sale of motor vehicle is properly recorded in the books of accounts and it is sanctioned by the competent. On the contrary, for sale of any kind of vehicle, sanction from the competent authority is must. It means that sanction from the competent authority is needed for sale as well as purchase of new vehicle. The auditor should see that if the vehicle is scrapped during the year with the authority of responsible official and also check the formal procedure is followed and due care is taken before scrapping or disposing. Sometimes vehicle may be scrapped because of certain causes. So auditor should see that scrapping of vehicle is sanctioned by the responsible officer and formal procedure is adopted for scrapping that vehicle. The auditor has required to see that adequate provision for depreciation is made in respect of each of the motor vehicle. There are different kinds of motor vehicles like motor truck, motor buses, motor lorries, cars, two-wheelers, three-wheelers, like this. So there is a need to calculate depreciation on each vehicle according to provisions laid down in the Act and as well as by considering income tax authorities rules. The auditor should see that value mentioned in the balance sheet of motor vehicles are book values and not the market values. It is also necessary to take into account the book values of assets are recorded on balance sheet rather than market value. The auditor should verify the physical existence of all motor vehicles and clear all motor vehicles are used for the business purpose only. It is also important the auditor should verify physical existence of all vehicles belonging by the client, and also auditor should see that these vehicles are used for the purpose of business only. This is our discussion. I also highlighted certain point here. See, in case of verification of fixed asset, the auditor should verify the registers, invoices, and other ownership documents, physical existence, and these assets are used for the purpose of organization only. Very, this is very important to write anywhere in the point of verification of asset. व्हेरिफिकेशन असेटचं करायचं असेल तर हे मुद्दे सर्व कोणतेही असेट असू द्या, आता जे सांगितले मुद्दे लिहायचे. पहिला मुद्दा काय लिहायचा की व्हेरिफिकेशन मध्ये पहिला काय लिहायचा की फिक्स्ड असेट खरेदी केली असेल तर त्याची इनवॉइसेस बघायची. ते जर फिक्स्ड असेटचं रजिस्टर बघायचे, कुठली पण असेल, मोटार कार असेल, मोटार व्हेकल्स असतील, प्लांट अँड मशिनरी असतील तर त्याची रजिस्टर बघायची, त्यांची ओनरशिप बघायची, नंतर ती प्रत्यक्ष अस्तित्वात आहे का बघायची, आणि ती बिझनेसच्या कामासाठी वापरली जाते का हे बघायचे. या गोष्टी आपण व्हेरिफिकेशन मध्ये बघायचे असतात. हा पॉइंट अतिशय महत्वाचा आहे. तुम्ही हे मुद्दे कोणत्याही फिक्स्ड असेटच्या बाबतीमध्ये लिहू शकता व्हेरिफिकेशन मध्ये. इन केस ऑफ व्हॅल्युएशन, तर यानंतरचा पुढचा पार्ट आपण शिकणार आहे व्हॅल्युएशन असेटचं कसं असतं. पण इथं जाता जाता लिहिलंय इन केस ऑफ व्हॅल्युएशन ऑफ ऑल फिक्स्ड असेट the auditor should check that adequate depreciation is provided and book value are shown in the balance sheet. की प्रत्येक फिक्स असेटवर डिप्रिशिएशन प्रॉपरली दाखवले आणि बुक व्हॅल्यू फिक्स असेटच्या लिहिलेत. हे आपण विशेष करून व्हॅल्युएशन मध्ये लिहायचं असतं. So in this way I am concluding my today's speech about the verification of fixed asset like plant and machinery, furniture and motor vehicles. Thank you.